your network is your net worth, but being able to combine that and understand that basketball can be used as a tool to help you get to where you want to be. I think there's so much power in that, and I want to be able to share that with more, women that are in this space.
Welcome to our world-renowned podcast, Invest in Her. I'm your host, Catherine Gray. I'm a TEDx and keynote speaker and author. Also, I'm executive producer of the movie Show Her the Money. Plus, founder of She Angel Investors and co-founder of the She Angels Foundation. Our weekly show features interviews with powerhouse women founders, funders, and change makers that are sure to inspire you. Let's go. Welcome to this week's edition of Invest in Her. I'm your host, Catherine Gray, founder of She Angel Investors and co-founder of the She Angels Foundation, as well as executive producer of Show Her the Money. As we all know, women are underfunded, and that goes for just about every genre. And today we're talking sports. We have a very special guest. Her name is Faatimah A. She is the CEO of WPBA, which is the Women's Premier Basketball Association, and she's a pro player. Please welcome to the show, Faatimah. Hi, Faatimah. How are you?
I'm great, Catherine.
Good. Well, I'm so interested, so many women's basketball fans all over the country, all over the world. And I think a lot of them don't know about people like yourself that have created an entire, women's basketball association over and above the WNBA one. And so I want to talk about that. I know you're a pro player yourself from the Jamaican National Team, but you're also CEO of WPBA, the Women's Premier Basketball Association. So tell me about that.
This journey with founding the WPBA and, stepping into this position of leadership as the CEO, it's been an amazing experience. I've obviously learned a lot about myself in this time, especially with being a pro athlete. But I kept running into the same problem. I would come home during the off seasons and there would be a plethora of women in my community that I've either played against or, know about and that have just graduated from university. And they didn't know how to get started with creating a pro career, And I think, as a pro athlete, wherever we're at, it's our duty to make sure that we are creating a better environment than the ones that we're currently in and how we found it. So I decided to create the Women's Premier Basketball Association to be able to solve the problem of the lack of a G League. Currently on the men's side for the NBA has a G League. They have a development platform that allows for them to be able to develop talent with the hopes of helping them to move up. But on the WNBA side, that didn't exist. So if you weren't, a first, second, or third round draft pick, it was really hard for you to figure out how to navigate this space. And I wanted to help. I love being able to see others win. So I decided to start this in 2022. And, from then on, I just kept working at it as much as I could, while we were being bootstrapped. But we've helped more than 100 athletes be able to further their careers overseas. Most recently, we've had 2 of our players from our organization, get picked up for the WNBA. So, yeah, it's been a journey, but I know that I'm living within my purpose and I'm doing the work to help strengthen the ecosystem, but, create something of true legacy and value for women's basketball.
You sure are. And, the fact that this has been recognized by FIBA, which is the International Basketball Federation, is no small thing. So, I mean, you created this and you got it really legitimized by this federation. I think that's amazing that you just saw there was a need and you created it. How did you fundraise for this?
From 2022 to, now 2026, all of this has been bootstrapped. So I've been able to build those types of relationships with FIBA and be able to, create these platforms for these women based on my own personal investment, being scrappy with trying to, get sponsorship, ticket sales, and all of those things. But now we're at an inflection point where we are needing capital because we do see, or at least I see, that this is something that is going to help transcend the women's basketball landscape. So right now we've been raising. We're hoping to close our pre-seed for, relatively soon, but um, that's how we are moving forward with wanting to be able to amplify this platform, but be able to scale this in the right way. Because just looking at where women's sports are going right now, women's basketball is one of the fastest growing businesses out there. We see this as a great opportunity to monetize and scale and just build a revenue generating model that's going to be able to, help our players, our coaches, our officials, but also reward our early supporters that have seen the vision from the jump.
Is the goal for these women that you're helping to coif here with their skills for them to move into the WNBA? Is it like a preliminary group, or explain the difference?
Yeah, so how we see ourselves amongst the landscape, obviously after college, there's no development platform infrastructure. So, if you're not picked up into the WNBA, it's really hard to kind of navigate even getting overseas. So when we're looking at FIBA, when we're looking at Athletes Unlimited, Unrivaled, the Project B, the WNBAs of the world, those are considered the top tier 1%. Whereas the 99%, we are looking to help develop them because at some point, everyone had a chance. Sometimes players are, considered late bloomers. So this is where they come to us. We develop them. We help to educate them on what the professional landscape of basketball, what it looks like, so that we're able to help them build real longevity within their careers, but also show them that, like, again, once the ball stops bouncing, can we also teach you things about professional development, financial literacy, health and wellness, so that the transition, um, you know, some of us, when we're transitioning into the next part of our lives, we go through this like identity crisis. How can we minimize that so we can maximize potential and opportunity, and then be able to reach back and help up the next woman or the next girl? Because we truly believe if we can see it, we can be it. So we want to be able to amplify that within the community.
So the possibility exists that there's like these real superstars that never get a shot at being in the WNBA because they don't have the tools to bridge that like the men have. And so I could see why that bridge is so important. Otherwise, we're leaving a lot of really skillful women on the sidelines that could make it to the NBA, WNBA, given that opportunity. And that's what your program, it sounds like that's really a stepping stone that it provides that didn't exist before you created it. And it's why people should want to invest in this so that you do have that stepping stone and you're not missing any really incredible talent that could be on its way to the WNBA, but is being held back by this situation right now. But you have this solution that we need to get behind.
Absolutely. And again, like to even prove that out even more, I was one of those players. I graduated university. I was one of those, diamonds in the rough. I just needed a little extra time to develop. And, 8 years later, I understand what it takes. I understand that, like, your network is your net worth, but being able to combine that and understand that basketball can be used as a tool to help you get to where you want to be, I think there's so much power in that. And I want to be able to share that with more, women that are in this space because they deserve it. They
They do
definitely deserve it.
deserve it. And
Yeah.
is your goal to get to the WNBA, or really just to help other people do that?
I mean, I have had dreams and aspirations of getting to the WNBA, but because of being a national team player now for Jamaica, it allows me to play against players that have been in the WNBA. With me being, in this space for 8 years, I've been able to play against players of that caliber, which is amazing, and I've competed. But our goal ultimately, like, we're trying to move players up. We want them to see that this is a launch pad to help them get to where they're wanting to be. So we're looking, we bring in talent that has WNBA experience, overseas national team experience, and then players that were, top collegiate, picks for this season that have just graduated. So we can, build their platforms a little bit more, but give them that opportunity, but put more of a spotlight on them so that the W can see that if at any point they need extra players or they need to move someone up, they can find talent here.
I love that. And let me ask you this. I have to ask this. Have you had any pushback on you sending people overseas, after what happened to Brittany Griner?
I mean, I think everyone's experience is different, and I'm from Toronto, right? I have a different worldly view. I see the game as global. So I'm always going to advocate for players being able to get overseas and have that experience because being able to play here is amazing. Being able to play in front of your family and friends is beautiful, but being able to experience new cultures is something that I value as well. So I definitely advocate for the overseas game as much as I do, as much as I advocate for players getting into these other top tier leagues that are here in the country.
And are just out of curiosity, are they kind of avoiding Russia?
Ah, I mean, I'm not too sure. I know there's still players that are still going there, because again, like when we're looking at the international landscape, Russia is in the top tier for Europe. So unfortunately, it was heartbreaking to see what had happened to Brittany Griner. But again, like it was a teaching moment for any other player that was going over there that like this could potentially be the repercussions if X, Y, and Z happen. So just
Yeah.
I know that the more players that are going over there, everyone's just being more mindful of their surroundings and what how they're acting in another country.
And what other countries have you been sending the women to?
So we've sent players to countries over in Africa. We've sent players to countries over in Europe. Some have played over in Australia and New Zealand. And then we've had some other players go into Asia, Middle East area. So looking to expand that a lot more, wanting to get more players into the Caribbean, especially with my Caribbean background. Um, but the game is growing and the possibilities are infinite. So I'm excited to see where we're able to get our players this season.
I love that. You know, there's a venture fund that's very much about supporting women's sports. I have to put you in touch with them. But I love what you're doing. It sounds like it's so essential. It's amazing that you saw that that was lacking and you literally created it. I mean, really, bravo.
Thank you. No, it's a labor of love again, but I believe in what sport is able to do for anyone, especially women that play it. It empowers us. It helps us to see our value. And at one point in my life, that's what the game was able to show me. And I've taken that moment and I've run with it. And I've always, looked back on it when I need a little bit more inspiration. So I love this game, and I want to be able to share it and do my part to grow it.
That's awesome. Do you have any success stories since you've created it of anybody transitioning into a WNBA from your Women's Premier Basketball Association yet?
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely.
Oh,
So we've
great.
just had this season. She was actually waived, but she made it through a rookie scale contract with the New York Liberty. But Michelle Onya, or Michelle Onya Ugon, she got drafted by the New York Liberty this season, but unfortunately was waived. But that was a great stepping point for us. And then we've had other players that haven't been on the radar that long, that might have had a few years of a gap in their resume that we've been able to help kind of jumpstart their career again. But Michelle's not going to be the last, and we're really excited with the group of players that we have now and the group of players that we'll have in the future. So our mission again is to continue to help getting those players looked into the W.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. And where can we see the games from the Women's Premier Basketball Association? Do they televise them?
Not yet. So right now we're just solely going through streaming networks. So YouTube, you can watch our games at Women's PBA on YouTube. We put our highlights on Instagram, but we're very, social media heavy right now
Well,
when
and
it
it does
comes to,
seem like most of the streaming programming is moving to social. You know, I
yeah,
heard Instagram is really focused on long format, and of course, YouTube being
yeah.
the number one streaming channel of all. So that's where people can catch these games.
That's where they can catch these games this season. Yes.
I love it. I love it. I love what you're doing. I love a trailblazer woman who's breaking down barriers, and this certainly is one that needs to be broken down. It's really ingenious what you're doing, and I hope people are listening and help get you traction. I'm certainly cheering you on. How do they, Fatima, get a hold of you? I take it you're on Facebook or I meant to say LinkedIn.
Yes, LinkedIn all the way. So they can reach me on LinkedIn, on Instagram, it's just Fatima_A. Or you can reach me at my email, Fatima at womenspba.org. But yeah, Catherine, thank you so much for creating this platform, for giving founders like myself the opportunity to just get my story out there, but also to hopefully get others to invest in me, you
Yes,
know? So, yeah.
absolutely. And do you all have a website?
Absolutely, womenspba.com.
Womenspba.com. Again, that stands for Women's Premier Basketball Association. Good luck with what you're doing, Fatima, and amazing. Thanks for sharing today. Everybody, you can also visit us at sheangelinvestors.com as well as showherthemoneymovie.com. Thanks for taking the time to tune in today. Thank you for being a great guest, Fatima. Make it a great week, everyone.